In this video, I'm going to attempt to explain how I was able to get a hamburger menu for my mobile app. The video that I used was this one, B3 hamburger menu for mobile. And I'll show you what it looks like after I've created it. So we go to my website, and as I shrink this, you get to the point where it becomes the size of a mobile phone. And here it is, right from here to there. And instead of having the menu items stack as they would have if I didn't have this hamburger menu icon or whatever, instead what I get is this icon, and when I click on it, then I get to see the menu. So the question is, how did I get this to be like that? Well, to start with, I already had a navigation bar, the elements or components required for that. And the navigation bar is, I think the element is in Bootstrap is called navbar. There are other ways to get navigation in Bootstrap, but this particular way is called navbar. And it allows you to have a navigation bar without having to use the grid system. And the thing that I want to point out here is that I ended up having to put my join and login buttons outside of the menu bar area, because this, when they were in here, it caused a problem on my cell phone, although it did not cause a problem in the browser. And the problem was that when I got to this size, and then I would click and this would open a modal on my cell phone, the modal was grayed out just the same way as the rest of the pages. Okay, so that's some background information. In the rest of the video, I'm going to be looking at and describing the code. By the way, lynda.com has a very good course on Bootstrap 3. I highly recommend that anyone who wants to learn Bootstrap go to that website and sign up to take this course. The course is called Everything You Need to Know to Get Started Building Responsive, Accessible Mobile-First Websites with Bootstrap 3. The first thing that I did was I took all the components which I wanted to be part of the display when the hamburger menu is expanded, and I put those in a div with class collapse navbar collapse. And that's this div right here. All of this. And this was placed in the div class equals container right here. So the class equals container, which is actually the only container in the nav element. And the div class container now has two divs in it. One for the navbar header and one for all the items that are going to go inside the hamburger menu when it's expanded. Now, the actual hamburger button goes deeper inside the div class equals navbar header. So this is the hamburger button actually. This is it right here. When we chose to put it somewhere, we didn't put it out here in the class equals container div. We put it all the way inside the navbar header class div. Now, what ties this button with the area that has all the things that need to be collapsed is this ID whose value is collapse menu. And here it is mentioned with a £sign in front of it. Now, as I've said earlier in this video, that I put the buttons for login and join outside of the nav element completely. As a matter of fact, the nav element and those two buttons are the two things at the same level inside the header element. So let's go down here to the buttons. I added the class pull right to both of these buttons, and that's why they are pulled to the right, but they are not part of the navigation menu. Let's take a look. Okay, so the menu is part of the header section, and the buttons are also part of it, but they are next to each other. The buttons are not inside the menu for navigation.